Hi, I'm Sohail and I'm 26 years old.
I'm Niala, I'm 26 years old, and we recently got married and we live in the Brisbane Baha'i community.
So we actually both headed off to Albania, which is in Eastern Europe, and it's a little country above Greece.
So we are going to the capital city, Tirana, and we're going to be working with a neighbourhood in Tirana, and we get the privilege of going with our best friends, Denzel and Parisa as well.
Hi, I'm Parisa and I'm 26.
Hi, I'm Denzel. I'm also 26 and we currently live in Brisbane, Australia, but we're just about to go pioneering to Albania.
So, as far as we know, there's about 200 Baha'is there. We're going to be moving to the capital city of Tirana. Obviously, the aim is to move to the third milestone. They're currently sitting at the second, and yeah, we'll see. We'll learn more when we get there.
Yeah. We haven't heard too much, but we've been told that there's a scatter of core activities like junior youth groups and children's classes. But we don't know too much about where exactly we're going to be living. But I guess we're going to head there in about 5 days and figure all that out.
I think from a very long time, when we were, before we were married, we were part of a visiting team, and we saw the importance of going to different clusters or areas that require support and assistance. And as soon as we saw the 30th of December message relating to the importance of international pioneers, naturally we thought to ourselves what an important time and what an important cause it would be right now to go and assist whatever country needs priority, and Albania was the one that came up.
Growing up in the institute and thinking about what it means to live a life of service over the years, and kind of learning more about that through trying to serve the community that we live in while in school and uni, and now as young professionals, has naturally kind of led to these conversations around what are the opportunities that we have in this stage of our life to really contribute as much as we can.
I guess for us, living overseas as teachers was something that we considered leading into our marriage, and also throughout the first year of our marriage we spoke about a lot. So I think when we started talking about pioneering, the two of those things, teaching and pioneering, just seemed like a natural fit to go together. And so making the decision to go to Albania was came very, I think, quickly.
Once we had the opportunity to serve together in Warwick and really contribute to a community in rural Queensland, we realised the impact, especially being young, we can make with young people. So we were like, if we work so well together as a team, now that we've gotten married, why not just pick up our lives and go and pioneer somewhere that really needs it? And especially once that message came out, we realised now is just the perfect time. Everything is lining up. We've gotten married. We can serve really well together. Let's just do it. Let's just forget about things that are pushing us down or make us not want to go, and let's just take the chance and just do it.
And I think the little cherry on top was the fact that, one of our two closest friends who we've gone through the Ruby Institute with as well are joining along with us as well. So it just had that extra support and assistance that, any two pioneers would need.
Talking about pioneering has been something that Paris and I have done for a while now. And we just got married over a year ago. So on our honeymoon, we studied one of the House of Justice messages, and where they mentioned international pioneering and the need for them. And so ever since that, the conversation has moved from just being a nice idea to something that I guess we're seriously considered. And then, I guess we saw a list of countries, and we, as teachers, it's quite easy for us to work or to live anywhere, really. There's always the need for teachers. So we definitely thought that living overseas for work could be something that we would do, especially early on in our marriage. And when we saw the need for pioneers, it just became a thing for us to do, I guess.
The institutions played a really huge role because we just knew we had the idea that we wanted to pioneer, but we didn't know logistically what does that look like, what are the needs, and so on.
Being very clear and knowing who to go to in terms of assistance. And I think in Brisbane, we're very fortunate to have a very supportive local spiritual assembly. And most of the people on board are very clear in terms of what the guidelines of the plans are. So knowing what kind of process to take and what kind of priorities there are within Brisbane / within Queensland in general as well.
The role of the institutions throughout all of this has been, I guess, really strong from the beginning. I think when we first decided to pioneer, we were lucky to have a good friend of ours who serves on an international pioneering committee. And from the very beginning, he's been with us all along, helping us, communicate with the councillors, with the auxiliary board members, both here in Australia and overseas. And they've, I guess, helped us prepare spiritually mainly, but also logistically for going over to Albania and for pioneering. And it's been, honestly, we wouldn't really have been able to get to this point without them.
Because this call was international, the National Assembly and the councils worked quite closely together. So at the beginning, just I guess in terms of a play-by-play, like we said, okay, well, we're willing, and we sent an email out to the councillors, the National Assembly and the auxiliary board members. From that point then, it was, communication back and forth on these are the opportunities, figuring out some of the logistics, and then finalizing the support that we would need. The relationship has been both consultative and then really supportive and encouraging as well along the way.
I think at first it was quite a bit of a difficult journey, especially for myself, getting my parents on board with the idea of pioneering, especially going to a international post, because I think they were more familiar with the idea that it would just be, in rural Queensland, but the fact that it became Albania very quickly changed for them, and not being so close to them. Through conversations and with the institutions actually assisting and calling my parents and making sure that they were okay with it, things changed quite drastically for them as well, and they saw the need that the faith was at in terms of how much of an important role pioneering plays in a person's life, especially in this particular plan as well, where the House of Justice is calling for pioneers, especially international as well. So they've come around to it, and they're actually, on board and encouraging every kind of step that we take now in terms of financial support, in terms of, prayers and assistance in any way that they can.
Yeah, I think looking back, our parents made such an influence on our journey with taking us to reading books, different deepenings, making sure at a young age, transport was always provided, and making sure that we are encouraged to attend these different spaces. And we had to have a lot of deep conversations with our parents around it. And now I think they're at a point that they're more comfortable with it. But even now, there are still going to be tests with them. We know for sure, even when we're over there, making sure that we're in touch with them, FaceTiming them, all that different stuff is really important to make them feel loved, even though we're far away from them. Yeah.
The role of our families is, it's obviously one from being from a standpoint of just being fully supportive of the decision for us to go pioneering. I think we know that it would have been hard for them initially to sort of, I guess, accept the fact that we've only been married a year and we're deciding to go overseas for a couple of years. But I think the families, both our parents and our siblings as well, have been nothing but supportive and loving of this decision. And whether it's from my family lives overseas already, and Paris's family lives here in Brisbane, so their support looks different from either way. But I think nothing but, I guess, support and encouragement. And I guess it's really nice, really comforting for us to know that when we do leave, we have their sort of continued support and love and prayers as well.
Yeah, and I think, as Dan said, it's definitely, it's not easy for them. They'll miss us, particularly my family, because we live quite close and see them a lot. And for his family too, because it's easier to, fly to New Zealand than it is to Europe. But I think ultimately, beyond us, pioneering is a spiritual journey, and it impacts not only the individuals, but the families and, the communities. And so for them, I think they see this as part of their journey too, and not just ours. And they're wanting to contribute and support and be a part of that in any way that they can.
I think society puts youth in a place where, it puts work versus service 2 to 2 against each other. And I think we tried to break that challenge of like just putting service at the forefront of our lives and making sure that we are at least pulling our own part in this plan and making sure that we're serving the plan. So, you know, we're happy to put a pause on our lives for the time being and serve the faith when we need.
I mean, there's definitely lots of challenges, particularly, I guess, in this stage of life, being young, like working professionals. One, stepping away from jobs we love for a period of time, you know. Hopefully we will continue serving as teachers as well. But, you know, leaving that space and the classroom and our students was definitely a big challenge. Another one was we actually, obviously mortgage and finances can be challenging too in this period of time. So that was a big one, but we've kind of just put it in Baha'u'llah's hands and hoped that it all gets covered and works out.
Yeah. Another big challenge for us was just overcoming the fact that, you know, we won't see our families for an extended period of time, and having only been married for a year, just over a year now, the families have always been so close and supportive of us, and so having that support network sort of almost put on pause for a little bit, sort of is something that we've had to learn to deal with, I guess.
Yeah, and we're lucky, you know, in the age of technology, we still do get to speak to them a lot. And but yeah, I think the day-to-day, you know, support and seeing them, friends as well, you know, leaving your support network in general, because we've both mostly grown up here, so yeah, leaving all that behind is a little scary.
Life is gonna get in the way and you're gonna find an excuse. Like, you're gonna find an excuse, whether it's my parents, whether it's work, something's gonna come up, and that is your test, right? Like, whatever it is for you, that's your test to overcome. Don't just push it to the back burner and be like, oh, it's my parents, or it is work I'm struggling with. Actually find a way to like challenge that and overcome that, and don't just say it's a challenge for you and just leave it in the dark. Like, actually do challenge it and find a way to put service or pioneering into your life. I think, again, we get too comfortable and we need to push ourselves a little bit more. So,
okay. I think one of the main things that youth should look towards service is, just really go for it, because there'll always be obstacles coming up in your life that you may not be able to overcome. And if you let that obstacle actually stop you from doing it, then you may never actually get that chance to serve. So just take that opportunity and go for it.
It's different for everyone, but ultimately, like we said before, pioneering is a spiritual journey. And so if you're open to that, if you're thinking about it, then take action, see what doors open, and I guess follow the confirmations. Be expected to be challenged, because as soon as you make that decision, I think you're tested, and that decision is tested. So I guess be willing to push past that and to ultimately what you feel you're being led to do.
Deciding to leave, you know, your place of comfort and move overseas for however long, I think naturally we tend to try and find reasons to not do that, and to try and stay in our comfort support network zone. So I think being very conscious of like not coming up with reasons to not do something. I think you sort of, once you realize that there's service needs for the faith everywhere, all around the world in every country, and that there's always needs for people to be pioneering, then it's a lot easier to then start thinking about this more seriously, in a way that's actually, like Parisa said, you take action and you start consulting with the people who are going to be able to help you do that. And I think also that it's not a decision that you make on your own. You'll always have, your family or your friends and especially the institutions where you live that will always be there to support you in making this decision, whether it's just sort of going to consult with, or whether you've already given thought to this and have made a decision or not. There's always people around, and institutions and agencies that are there to support you in making this decision, and are always open to come and consult with you.